Cursed by the old gods in Bethany. We are 4 immortals hiding among the stars, trying to break our curse of completing the 1001 pieces of pop culture before we're captured by impossibly powerful beings. This is a review show. It's episode 105.
Nice.
Woohoo.
Divisible by 3.
105.
Goes by 3, by 5, obviously.
Stay alive.
Good hour.
That's the premise of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no. The premise of the show is the opposite of that.
Well, we're staying alive.
Right now, but the point is
That's
to die.
the problem.
And we are annoyed by it.
Yes.
And the only solution is to review this stuff. But first, I need to let you all know that my name is Austin.
I'm Sara.
I'm Lee.
I'm Pedro. You did it.
We did it!
5
Woo!
weeks to get our names right.
Yeah.
And, I've now rolled back over to the main part of the planet. I was hanging out near Lee last time. Pedro still didn't build me legs.
Build him some legs. I can't do it. You have to do it. Build him robot legs.
What did you build this week instead of
Spider
legs?
robot legs.
I built a tap.
A what?
A beer tap. A fridge.
Okay, I'm not against the beer tap concept, but build him some legs first.
Wait, where did you build that?
Over in my corner.
God damn it, Pedro. So far away from me.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, whatever.
I made it short.
I lost my
So
legs.
I can reach it.
And that's
Maybe
like
you can.
75. It's episode 105 now.
We'll get there.
Okay. We gotta do something for the next 800 episodes.
Yeah.
And change. A lot of change. Anywho, we're a review podcast, obviously. We review the 1001 movies, albums, food, songs, and TV shows that you must consume before you die. Thanks to Pedro's little random number generator, which is one of your lesser inventions so far.
Yes,
on this
actually,
planet.
you could do it on the internet.
I think he actually is just using the internet.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually.
Yeah. We weren't shocked by your phone. But, this week we're covering number 43.
43.
It's nice and early.
Yeah.
43.
It's
43.
First early stuff in
Way
the land
out
of
there, yeah.
art
And since
and food. Maybe?
most of these lists are chronological, not food, because not how food works. We got some early stuff, because the film this week is the silent film Steamboat Bill Jr.
The album is Olympia 64 by Jacques Brel.
The food is Longan.
The song is How High the Moon by Les Paul and Mary Ford.
And the TV show is Canzonissima.
Sure.
Sure.
We'll go with it.
Not reviewing this week. So, but let's get right into it with Steamboat Bill Jr. It's always fun to dramatically pause to have the trailer be inserted, but this is a silent film, so I don't know what
That's
just
a good
happened.
Just put some fun piano in there.
It already happened.
Perfect.
True.
This is the 1928 film starring Buster Keaton. Previously on the podcast, we have actually now covered 2 Charlie Chaplin films. This is our first Buster Keaton. And I think it's kind of interesting with silent films, especially with comedies. I think since Charlie Chaplin is so iconic, and deservingly so, we kind of attribute to him to all of silent comedy. Like, this is what silent comedy looks like.
It's true.
And Buster Keaton was just as successful and just as renowned at the same time as Chaplin, and is often debated among really, really cool film fans of who is the better, silent comedian at this time.
It's Chaplin.
This one said Harold
I
Lloyd
like
as well.
Buster Keaton better.
Really?
Yeah.
So interesting.
Well, as to the plot of this film, this is the story of a young man who goes back home for the first time since apparently he was a baby to see his dad. He's been going to college in Boston, aka he's at Harvard, right? I mean, they just keep saying college in Boston.
That's what people who go to Harvard say when they want to seem falsely modest. So yeah.
And he very much seems like a Harvard sort, where he has this very kind of nerdy hat. He's very kind of prim and proper. There we go. Nailing it today, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
That very much contrasts with his dad's steamboat lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens next is a set of awkward comedy of them trying to become just decent people to each other, mostly just the dad. And then also, the whole last 15 minutes or so is kind of what Buster Keaton's best known for, which is really impressive spectacle and stunts. That's not all he's known for. Obviously, he's known for being stone-faced, as he was nicknamed, because he does not smile the whole movie.
And he's also the not Chaplin.
He's also not Charlie Chaplin.
That's true.
That's what he's known
That is
for.
not who he is.
Almost every actor we've covered so far has not been Charlie Chaplin.
Except the ones who have been Charlie Chaplin.
Yeah, that happened twice.
So, I mean, that's 2.
But this one's not Chaplin.
It's 2 for every actor we've ever covered in over 100 films.
Yeah.
So I've seen, I think, almost every feature film of Buster Keaton. Even though I do prefer Chaplin, I do love Buster Keaton a lot, and it was a delight to watch one of his films again. I want to start with Lee, because you said that you like him better than Charlie Chaplin. Why is that?
I don't know. I don't know what it was. Like, it's... I think it's because Chaplin seems that he kind of sets up these purposefully goofy situations, and he's the joke on purpose, whereas Buster Keaton set up all these jokes where they just happen to be funny, and they just so happen to be happening to him. It seemed more accidental humor than Chaplin, where it's very purposeful. It's still funny, but it was very purposeful, and I just like the accidentalness of Buster Keaton more, I think.
I feel there's even a patience with that kind of thing as well, because it's a 70-minute movie. It goes by rather fast. But I would have to guess there has to be like 5 minutes devoted to this scene where the dad is trying to pick a better hat for him.
Oh my gosh, that scene was so great.
It was very good.
It's so funny and so long, too. Like, he tries on, has to be a dozen different hats, while keep trying to go back to his, like, other hat, which is a terrible hat, by the way. Mm-hmm. And then the second they walk out of the building...
I mean, none of the hats are, like, good.
No, there's
Except
some
for the
fine
Chaplin
hats.
hat.
There's one.
I hated that one.
Yeah, there's some fine hats, but the second they finally pick a hat for this long sequence, 2 steps outside, it gets blown away and into the water. Like, it's gone. Like, it's so much setup for he loses his hat immediately.
Yep.
I really admired that, and because whereas Chaplin has a twitchier persona with the Tramp, since Buster Keaton is so quote unquote normal, whenever like those kind of like pratfalls happen to him, where he keeps running into rope on the ship or keeps getting pushed from one boat to the other, it is surprising like that. I really enjoy the madness of his world, as he's just very startled by it. Pedro's shaking his head.
I don't agree. He's just not as... He's not as good. His what is it? The physical persona, whatever you call it. His body acting, his physical acting. It isn't as fun as Chaplin. I don't know. The fact that he was so stone-faced and like things were just kind of happening to him, it just seemed kind of lame. I don't know.
Did you like it?
The stunts.
The stunts are amazing.
Yeah,
like,
he's good at them.
No, the stunt where the house falls down around him, holy crap.
That was an actual thing, but
yeah.
I mean, he didn't actually do anything. He just stood still, which was what he was supposed to do.
I believe this is the film where he actually broke his spine from one of the stunts. Like, he broke so many bones in his body that he went to the doctor and found out he broke his back years ago.
Oh, God.
I believe it was from this film. I forget which stunt it was. Like,
oh, wow.
God only knows.
Because he does all of his stunts in this movie. Mm-hmm. And whereas, yes, that is him standing there, but that's also if you're not in the right place.
Yeah,
right.
That's true.
He does, like, pratfall off a number of things, like, on stage, on screen, and, like, you see him, like, fall.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, yeah, okay, so he's really good. His stunts are really good, but, like, it's not as funny.
I think it's a different kind of funny. I mean, he's sort of like... I don't know whether I prefer Chaplin or Buster Keaton, really. I don't know that I have a strong preference. I feel like he is more of, like... His humor comes more from him kind of being the straight man to a world of insanity.
Yeah.
Which is... I mean, I like that kind of humor. Look, I liked this movie. I unfortunately, and I like to be honest, even if it makes me sound a little uncultured, like, silent film doesn't do it for me as a entire, because at some level, like, it's a thing that, it is interesting to me the way museums are interesting to me. It is very hard for me to consume it as art, because it's the beginning stages of something that we eventually did better. And so I mean, that's just, again, you don't have to agree with me. I'm sharing my opinion and my general, like, feels about silent movies. That being said, like, I enjoyed this one a lot more than I usually do, and I think once it hits that last stunt scene, which has gotta last, like, in the hurricane. Yeah, which is gotta last
the whole story.
Yeah, like 10 or 15 minutes. I mean, it's long. It's like the whole back end of the movie. I was like, oh no, this is better than anything we've... Like, this is among the great stunt, like, runs.
I loved the part where he
was
on the bed and, like, it was going through, like, the hospital and then down the street and through the barn. I loved it.
There was so much destruction, too. The boat that goes through the house.
Blew up, and, like, you know that, like, they... Like,
it was, like, real.
It was, yeah, exactly. Like, it's like, there's no CGI. There's not even any, like... There's not even, like... The practical effects world, like, we're way before a lot of stuff, and it's like, you just blew up a lot of buildings. You just built a lot of buildings, and then you blew him up.
Right in front of the main actor.
And you just blew him up, and he's right there. There he is. There he's standing. That's him.
See, it was more impressive, like, okay, the house falling over him, cool, he just had to stand still in one place, but then, like, right after that, he's walking down the street.
Place.
Yeah. Then right after that, he's walking down the street, and the building literally collapses in front of him if he had taken, like, an extra 2 steps.
Or if the building had fallen differently.
Yeah.
Which they were not controlling and had no way to figure out.
In case you haven't seen this stunt, I'm sure you've seen it actually referenced and parodied in many different places, but what we're referring to is a complete side of a building falls, and because there's an open window, that is where Buster Keaton is standing, and that's the only hole where he can't get flattened.
It's an iconic scene. Like,
it is.
And a bunch of others.
My favorite riff on that is from a TV show we covered called Arrested Development.
Oh, yeah. That's the best one.
Because the joke is that Buster in that show is trying to get hurt to go in the army.
Wait.
So he sees the house collapsing and he runs up to get smushed, but he's standing in the window spot.
That's beautiful, and I never realized because I had not yet seen this movie. First of all, what the original reference point? And then it's Buster. That's great. That's delightful.
Joke.
I always the reference, which is oblique, but that I always think of is Aladdin, that's how Aladdin survives the rolling tower at the end of the movie. Is he stands so that the window goes.
I forgot that.
Yeah, it's like again like. Which I remember thinking was really cool.
Creeped me the fuck out. I'm like, how do you know?
No, and that was I remember, and you see him like running and like looking up and timing it, and it's like, oh, it's a Buster Keaton movie reference. Sure.
Yeah. Keaton is awesome, and like even the stuff to me that isn't stunts, just like his presence. Like, I really enjoyed this sequence when his dad is looking for his son for the first time, and he has like these hopes that he's like this big, like
his dad is like
man.
10 feet tall. Though.
Yeah, his dad's a giant.
So tall.
And there's a bit of like. There's some early social commentary going on in this movie because he's looking for a white carnation on like the lapel of his son's jacket.
Right.
First person he sees is a black man. He goes, "No, I don't think that's my son." And then of course there's like a dozen more guys with white carnations. He's like, "I don't think it's my son." And you finally see Mr. Keaton after the whole like beginning of the movie. After the train leaves and he exited on the wrong side, so he's just like not at the station. He's just like in the grass.
He's not one of the options.
Yep.
And he's just looking and. Then Buster Keaton has to like just keep like pushing his lapel towards strangers. Like, are you my father? And
are you my daddy?
I enjoyed it, and to me, I also took the line early on because this is pre-code, so we're able to get away with some more stuff. When like Buster Keaton is flailing around and like tripping on stuff, and like his dad sees him for the first time, he tells his right hand man like, "Don't even say it." Like, he's implying that like his son's gay.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. I was impressed by a lot, and I enjoy that. The obvious, like, you know, the father and son becoming, you know, friends and such, worked out in like really like survivalistic ways. Like, the dad first admires him when he has a good way to break him out of prison.
Yeah. Well, that's a useful thing to have in a son.
It is, yeah. And then just how well he accidentally survives the entire hurricane,
and then saves his dad.
Yeah,
it's like okay, so all this is fun. It was fun, but there's like something missing. There wasn't the same emotional depth I think that like Chaplin has. It's not.
Yeah, I mean
it's fun. It's just slapstick for slapstick.
I mean, I think you have to compare it to Chaplin slapstick, like because I do think that Chaplin. I haven't seen the whole range of Buster Keaton movies, but something like City Lights, for example, I think there's a little bit more going.
Keaton never is interested in that thing.
Right.
Keaton
or
is
the
a lot
great
more
dictator. I mean, like like Chaplin does other stuff than what Buster Keaton does. You know what I mean? Like, so it's a little mean to compare them. The only reason we compare them is because they are of the same era and like very famous in that era, but like I think their goals are different.
Right, because Keaton, so much what he accomplished, and you see it with the last third of this film, is these really amazing technical achievements. Like his most iconic feature-length film is The General, which is a whole farce set on actually moving trains, and he has to constantly be on the side of a train or on the front of the train. His probably most famous short, I guess it's 30 minutes, whatever we'll call it short, is Sherlock Jr., which is referenced a lot because he's a character who walks inside a movie screen. Is now in the movie.
Oh, cute.
And there's an amazing story he did. I think it was called The Playhouse, where he goes to a circus, and he is every person on screen. So it's an entire crowd of Buster Keatons, and there's like a dozen different Buster Keatons putting on the circus. It was like all new camera tricks to do for the 20s.
Right. He seems very interested in, here's this new thing we have called film. Let's see what we can do with it.
Yeah.
Whereas Chaplin is interested in, here's this new thing we have called film. Let's see what stories we can tell them.
Yeah.
And like both
Makes
are
sense.
cool. I mean, like I think ultimately I'm always gonna go for the story, but at the same time, like Buster Keaton's really good.
I want to see the strain thing now. Like
It's called The General. It's definitely on the list, and but you're allowed to watch it before the list. It might be
so good.
15 years before we review it, so it's fine. Yeah, The General. Sherlock Jr. is my favorite thing he's done.
It's also
just
really
so
good, yeah.
funny. But I think what's right for hinges. This is not my favorite Keaton, but like because he just has such a high bar. But it is up there for me because I do enjoy it quite a bit. So my hinges would be a 4.2.
3.8. But you should see it. I have to be honest about my own enjoyment level.
That's what reviewing is.
Yeah, I'm on the same boat. 3.7.
Is that a pun?
Yeah, that was totally on purpose.
I'm going to give it a 4.
All right, that is Steamboat Bill Jr. It is in the public domain, so you can watch it on YouTube, archive.gov, and Wikipedia.
Isn't it great that the public domain exists? Like,
Yes.
I mean, like, and hopefully we will not keep screwing up the copyright laws and extending it so that more things can enter the public domain.
I mean,
Because,
there's no way like an entire government of say Japan will decide to change its entire copyright laws to not include I don't know, Akira Kurosawa's films.
no, they wouldn't do that.
Where they would say oh yeah, every film beyond this year is public domain except for Kurosawa.
Or that we wouldn't do that for what are they called? There's this thing. There's this guy. He made a bunch of theme parks. I think his name is Disney.
Yeah, Disney.
Nailed it.
Happy Birthday is public domain now.
Finally, after a very long and protracted court battle.
Is that on the songs list? Were they too afraid to put it on the
I
list?
don't know. They probably
Because of
didn't
these
put
overly litigious asshole pair of women whose grandmother never wrote the damn song in the first place.
Yeah.
Or not grandmother, great
Something like that. Dead for
aunt's
ages.
cousin bullshit.
You know who I heard actually wrote the song originally? Marty McFly.
Yeah,
No.
actually, I think that's right.
Nope.
I saw that
This
somewhere.
is not a joke we're going to keep doing.
Yep,
Now it's time for the album segment.
by Marty McFly.
Yeah. This is during his French period. Lee, what did we listen to this week?
We listened to Olympia 64 by Jacques Brel.
Je les vois déjà me couvrant de baisers.
This was his second live album. It came very well into his career, probably halfway through his music career. And he's Belgian, which is different for us. We don't have many people who aren't English or American on the list, so that's exciting.
Also, I
He
think
does
about
sing in
Belgians very
French. What was that?
I don't think about Belgians very often.
They're
just,
very bland.
No.
just Belgians, yeah.
Sorry, Belgians, but you are.
Sorry.
Why did they put the capital of Europe in Belgium?
No one knows.
Alright, sorry.
Yeah. Anyway, he sings mostly in French, and because of that reason, and I don't speak French, I have no idea what this album is about.
Love.
So this
Love, women, stuff. I mean, I speak
I
enough French to
assumed-
get those words.
I assumed it was just generic French music of the time period, so I was going to be talking about being French and women and probably coffee and cigarettes at some point too.
Lots of cigarettes.
Well, thankfully, we have someone on this podcast that is fluent in French. Pedro, do you listen to the album?
Of course not.
It's a half hour long.
I'm sort of fluent in French. I listened to half of it.
Actually, she probably knows.
I'm half fluent and listened to
Her
half
French is
the
probably
album.
more correct than mine.
Okay, so what was it about? No, not you.
Loving. women and stuff. I mean, like, it's hard. Songs are hard,
She's
like,
mine,
because,
right?
like, I haven't actually, if I read the lyrics, which I have not had time to do, I'd be able to get it all. But I mean, definitely, like, the song lyrics that I heard were very much of that ilk. A lot of amour and...
Well, the album actually psyched me out a little bit
Stuff.
because the first song begins, very nice, and then gets more intense as the song goes on. So actually, I kind of was in a mindset of treating this album like an opera, where like I'm kind of following the emotional track more than like actually every individual word. But that stopped working because not every song had that like giant build up. The second song is just sweet. Don't know what it's about, but it's a very sweet, nice song. I like his voice. I thought actually it was one of our better live albums, just like sound like a live album, but I don't know, didn't really wow me as much. Lee, what do you think?
I did not like his voice. Like, he sounded very stereotypically French, and again, he's Belgian, and I'm sorry if any Belgian listeners are offended by that, but he sounded very stereotypically French, and like he doesn't sound like he got a career because he was good at what he was doing, but because he was really, really attractive and charismatic.
That's how a lot of careers work.
But
Right.
he went on to have a movie career.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. So I really don't think that music was necessarily his passion. I think he just kind of stumbled into it. Again, this is just all me presuming based on how I got from his vibe from the album.
So you're saying he's the Belgian Mark Wahlberg?
It sounds like it, yeah.
I'm looking up his
Belgian 1960s Mark Wahlberg.
So I'm looking at these songs, by the way, and I will note that the lyrics actually are a little bit more diverse than I gave it credit for on my cursory listening. No, like, I mean, the first one's about, like, Amsterdam sailors on shore leave, and it's about ladies and going to bars. But, like, there's one about, that I think I listened to called Les Vieux, which is about old people in an old person's home and, like, their regrets about their life. So, there's some interest here.
That's kind of French. Utility of life. All
Oh,
that.
it's very French. It's highly French. There's one called Tango Funèbre, which is funeral tango.
Lovely.
Sort of interesting. So, yeah.
All right.
I've not seen any of his movies, but I admire the fact that one of them is called The Adventure is the Adventure.
Yeah,
That is
man.
fun.
That's deep.
It's awesome. These seem like fun movies. I don't know how good they are, but it seems like they are like how Elvis had a film career. Like, he's got some fun genre stuff of like, fall in love and we got some robberies happening here. And yeah, they seem fine.
Robberies.
I agree. The album was fine. It sounded like a very generic album you would hear in a French cafe while having a very small coffee and a very large patisserie.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure Steamboat Bill Jr. liked it.
That seems right.
He began the film in a beret that his dad had turned throw away.
He looks
Yep.
so French.
He does,
And no
actually.
one
You're
like
right.
that nose and be like,
You're
oh
a
my
good
god.
That's a good point. Buster
French.
Keaton does look really French.
Yeah.
He has very
Especially with
sunken
that little
eyes.
mustache.
That was the thing that I noticed.
So he was born in the States. His parents were born in the States. His dad was born in Terre Haute.
That mustache was super silly in that movie.
It's very silly.
The only reason was for Chaplin.
You feel as a reference?
It was a dig on Chaplin, of course. Get that
Yeah.
shit off his face.
Yeah.
Oh, it absolutely
Yeah.
was a dig on Chaplin.
He had. I like the scene where he had shaved and like 2 swipes. He
That's
had
good.
knife in his
That's
face.
good.
It was pretty good.
Or keep reviewing the film in every segment.
Yep.
But until then, how about we do some hinges to this album?
At 3, it's perfectly fine.
3 sounds good.
3.2. I enjoyed it in a background kind of way.
Now it's time for the food segment.
Uh,
What do we have here, and how can we compare it to Buster Keaton?
well, the food is longans, which are a variety of Chinese fruit. They grow on a tree. I mean, they're fruit. They look a little bit like lychee in that they are, which also means they look a little bit like eyeballs, in that they are a clear flesh inside of a very sort of hard shell. So you can sort of crack the shell open and pop out the fruit, which is apparently the way that people eat them. I will leave it to the boys to try them. I don't think you're supposed to eat the pits, which are in the middle.
I don't think you are either.
So I would eat
Let's do
only
this.
the
When are you
flesh.
supposed to eat a pit?
Well, sometimes like a seed in the middle of something will be edible, but I
Oh.
just bite it.
They're not bad.
So it looks and feels like we mentioned right before recording. What are those things called that are always in fruit salads that are like peeled grapes? Like that look.
I mean,
like
they are peeled grapes. That's what you're thinking of.
Okay, cool, got it.
They
It's
did.
like some fruit.
It looks and feels like a larger peeled grape.
All right, you want to try it?
Yeah. Very sweet.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Very sweet, and like, were they? It's a mean sweet.
Yeah, I do
It's
not
mean.
like this.
I think you're right. They're not quite as fresh as they could be.
Maybe, but I think this is based on the descriptions I've read. This is what they're
It's
supposed.
pretty
They're
similar.
supposed to taste sweet and musky, which is
Yeah.
how I would describe
Musky?
this. And
They were going for musky.
and I
Yep.
dislike it intensely.
It's not that bad. It's like, okay, so like the texture and the first
Gross.
taste you get is a lot like, I think, starfruit.
No,
stuff
starfruit
like
is
that.
firmer and less slimy.
Okay, that's true. But that taste, that little crispness. Now, if it just stayed there, it would be awesome.
But it doesn't stay there.
But it doesn't. It does give way to musky.
A musk. Well, so there's a fruit called durian, and it's not like that level durian, which is, I believe, in English called possibly muskmelon. It is.
What?
I don't know if you know that durian. Eventually, it will come on the list, and then
Sounds dirty.
something
Yes,
horrible.
muskmelon.
You guys don't know about durian? So durian is a very large.
Well, he's like us, right?
South.
He doesn't age.
A very large South Asian melon thing. It smells like death. I once, for the scavenger hunt I used to plan, challenged people to carry an open durian on the subway and see how long it took for the subway police to come and kick them off because it smells like a dying bird.
Was did that become part of the scavenger hunt?
Yes.
What
Well,
do you
it
do, just
wasn't.
time
So
yourself?
in order
It wasn't.
to
No,
win?
it was not really wait until they came and kick them off. It was just carry a durian on the subway. However,
Okay.
a number of people were in fact approached by.
Do you get extra points?
No, we don't give extra points. But no, I dislike the.
They're not animals, Pedro.
I just like musk in my food. The sort of like desiccated-y taste.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it tastes similar to like a fermentation taste, kind of like a sort of like.
You can make some good hooch out of this.
Yeah. I think it's hella gross, and I'm never eating another one.
It's okay.
I don't hate it as much as Sarah. It's not pleasant, but it kind of hits you immediately with the taste, and then the rest is fine. Like it's a one-punch taste.
I think it's the opposite. I think it hits
Oh,
you very
really?
pleasantly, and then it gives way to weirdness.
I think none of these things. And Pedro, if you would like to take the pound of these I had to buy in order to get any from the internet, you can.
Maybe I'll make a jelly out of it?
Why would you do that?
Apparently there is an alcoholic cocktail that can be made out of these things that is
perfect.
regularly made.
No,
I
it's-
have no idea how to make it.
It's called you eat one, then you start drinking.
Works for me.
This shit is gross.
Fun fact, muskmelon is a type of melon related to honeydew and cantaloupe and all
So
those.
it's not durian.
I
Yeah.
got
It's not
I got a
durian, it's just
cantaloupe vibe from
basically a
You do
cantaloupe.
get a cantaloupe vibe from this, yeah.
Yeah.
No, this is just gross. You all are wrong.
About we're not liking it either.
Okay.
You're mad
I
that
like
we
the
don't.
color.
We're not damning it to hell.
The fact that it's this like weird, almost
Don't like
translucent.
Yeah, it looks
Fleshy
like
coolness.
lychee, and I really so that's the thing. Like lychee, it also sort of tastes like, but lychee is purely sweet, and I like lychee. This is gross. Those are my feelings.
Hinges
1.
3.
2.5. That is Longan. Long gone.
Long gone.
It's long
gone.
gone, man. What is it called? Sarah, wake up.
Longan.
Oh, Longan.
That's what it's called. I just thought you were joking about it, but yes,
No,
that's what
I
it's
was-
called. Okay.
I would have enjoyed watching Buster Keaton eat one and not like it. Got into this.
He'd probably eat
segment.
the pit.
That was weak.
Now it's time for the song segment.
Woo! Okay, we listened to How High the Moon as recorded by Les Paul and Mary Ford.
Somewhere there's music, ain't the tune. Where there's heaven, high the moon. There is no moon above, love is far away too. Till it comes
How High the Moon is a song. An old song. It's an old jazz standard, I guess. Recorded lots of times by lots of people. What's it say here on the Wikipedia?
There are other ways to research, you guys.
Wikipedia does it for us.
Oh.
Alright, it says first performed by by Benny Goodman and his orchestra in February 1940. Cool, I guess.
When did this version get recorded?
51, January 4th. Which was pretty soon.
Nope.
From a few days ago.
God damn it.
Yep. Yeah, so apparently Mary Ford was Les Paul's wife, and they did lots of things together, and one of the things they did was record this.
Apparently. Are you accusing them of something?
Nah, it's fine. It's a cute song. Cute tune.
I really liked
For
it.
those of you who aren't aware, Les Paul did a lot for guitars and technological advancements.
He's the
for
only guy that
guitars.
is both in... He's permanently in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and also like the National Inventors Hall of Fame or something like that, because he basically perfected the solid body guitar. He almost died of electrocution playing around with his things.
By the way,
Wow.
he died at age 94
That is
in
old.
2009.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Wow.
I mean, the Les Paul is a model of Gibson or Epiphone guitars. Very classic, iconic. It's
Lots of famous guitarists play Les Paul guitars.
They do. It's
I believe
it's
Paul
a
McCartney
good
played
standard
the Les
guitar.
Paul.
Yep. I mean, he's done things, been around. He invented like just a bunch of ways to play, even, and you can hear it in this song.
Watching the video of them performing, holy
Right?
crap!
Yeah.
They were adorable.
Yeah, they were real cute.
But like, if you watch his hands, he's just like flying up and down that guitar like crazy.
But
Yeah.
he never, like, outshines her in any kind of way. Like,
Mm-mm.
he doesn't, like, bring attention to me, like, oh, that's a cute song, but look at this riff, you know?
No.
No, he's just doing like real cute guitar stuff in the background.
Yeah.
While she sings, and then like they're running her voice through like a weird reverb repeater kind of thing, right? Because it sounds like multiple versions of her singing.
Oh, I have no idea.
Also, something that Les Paul played
Invented.
around with.
Yep.
Oh.
I thought it
It's-
was a charming song. Did you listen to any other versions, Pedro? Because
No.
Sarah,
Ella Fitzgerald was the big one that
Yeah.
kept popping
we
up.
listened to that one, and that one was cool. I mean, it has a lot of riff. It's a 6-minute version.
And she does like she scats for like most of the song. It's
Yeah.
actually really fun, but it was funny. I listened to Ella Fitzgerald and I was like, well, obviously Ella Fitzgerald has a more amazing voice than the originals, but the song itself is such. I mean, but because of all the elaboration she puts on it, you sort of miss the like lovely melody of the song itself. I was like, I actually like the original.
I think I did too, because the lyrics has a simplicity charm to it.
It's just like
and it fits.
a poem, basically.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's very cute. It
It's
definitely can
a lot
get
of fun.
stuck
It's
in
like-
your head too.
It's 2 minutes long. It's really enjoyable.
It's a song.
It's a song.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just really cute. Something of the times.
Yeah.
One of the good things.
Go for 5 more minutes about it.
Huh?
No,
I mean, I could.
There's not a ton to say. I mean, I don't know, but well, say more if you have more to say. I don't know.
I guess they recorded some of this and played it for troops during the
Oh,
war.
cool.
I guess, like, things happened. Les Paul was drafted. He served on the radio station thing.
Are you
I
clicking
like
every
this
link on
song.
Wikipedia?
I thought it was fun.
Yeah, basically. Sorry?
I liked this song. I thought it was fun.
I thought
It
so
is-
too.
it is
I thought it
fun.
was really cute, and I have not heard it before.
It put a smile on my face as soon as I
Yeah.
heard it.
Very good song.
Indeed.
She had a very charming voice.
She
Also-
did.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Yeah.
Now it's time for hinges.
Yeah. I mean, it's a perfectly good song. Should get a 4. Maybe 4.2. Let's go 4.2.
I got a 4.
3.7.
4.7.
Uh,
3.7.
Oh, there we
Wow.
go.
I'll give it a 4 as well.
That is How High the Moon by People.
Les Paul and Mary Ford.
Yep. Why is he listed first?
Because he's a man.
Because I should probably, yeah.
All right. Now it's time for the TV show segment, and as I hinted earlier, unfortunately, I did not review this one because, well, let me explain what the show is. It is called Canzonissima, probably. The whole thing sounds great, and like I kept finding small segments of it online, but I wanted to review it in its entirety because it was a yearly Italian music variety contest show where like you would have like professional singers competing against people who won like a lottery to take part in it, and it was like a whole event. I mean, like in the same vein as like Eurovision is a yearly event kind of thing. Whereas Eurovision is obviously more international. This is just Italy, but they did it 14 times between 1958 and 1974. It looks delightful. So I kept finding segments, but I wanted to review a full episode, or ideally all the episodes. So I'm going to refrain from now, and I'll get back to this once I actually have more access to it.
Makes
But
sense.
it seems cool. I just wanted to say what it was about. That's it.
Yeah, cool.
It's a short one, this episode.
Yeah.
Woo, we did it. Happy New Year, guys.
Nope, this is January 11th.
Yeah, so.
Still Happy New Year.
Still-
You can say Happy New Year all the way through January.
I'm still writing 2017 on accident.
I told you, there's a whole month
Oh,
of
that
it.
takes me at least 2 months to get over.
Yeah.
We're on a planet. Why? What is making you write 2017 all the time?
We're-
You gotta date your.
Social media, come
We're
on,
all
guys.
working, except for you.
I gotta keep watching the 100, guys.
Don't.
Alright. Let's see what we're gonna review next week. Pedro, use your gadget that's not my legs to tell us what the number is.
Also, seriously, build him some spider legs.
Alright, fine, hold on. Beep, boop, boop, beep, boop. That's me accessing the thing.
Is it?
No.
I didn't know.
No, that's just, killing time. How about 307?
Okay.
Sure.
Cool.
3 and 7.
Ooh, that's the cheese numbers.
I like cheese.
Like it's like the early 300s
Nice.
are
Alright.
like cheese numbers, and the cheese looks like it is Tilster, just kind of.
I don't know what that
Swiss.
cheese is.
It's like an
Alright.
interesting. Yeah.
The movie is it's the first one with this cinema legend. It's Akira Kurosawa's
Woo!
Throne of Blood.
Oh, I freaking
excited.
love that movie.
This is his Macbeth adaptation
Yeah.
with samurais.
Yes. I'm happy.
What else we have here?
Oh, we got a song.
I imagine.
The Man Who Sold the World by David Bowie.
Ooh.
I don't know this Bowie song very well.
I don't either.
I love
do.
Bowie.
I love it.
Didn't we? We did a film of him.
Yes.
did?
Oh, yes, we
Do you
did.
remember what that
We
was?
did a whole album.
It was fucking The Man Who Filled the Earth.
Yeah, it's
It
really
was
close to this time.
About
The
an
Man Who Sold the
alien.
World.
Yeah, how David Bowie is a literal space alien.
Yeah.
Well, apparently he sold the Earth as well.
There you go.
The album is Autobahn by Kraftwerk.
I have a
Nice.
feeling that Lee's gonna like this album.
I do too.
I'm gonna like it.
It's because it just sounds German and angry.
No, Kraftwerk is, I believe they're the ones who did the Ferris Bueller theme song.
Oh.
I didn't really like the movie, so.
Yeah, no, I don't. What's the
What?
what's the name of the song?
Hey,
It's-
bow, bow. Is that?
Yeah, that one. Oh, yeah.
None of this is
Oh, no, I'm
registered to
sorry.
Pedro.
It was Yellow who
I know the
did.
Chick Chick Hop.
You
I was
said
wrong.
Snake
I was
Eyes.
wrong. It
Oh,
was
so
not.
we're just singing the Ferris Bueller song
Yeah.
kind of for no reason. That's cool.
But
Man.
it's very similar, I feel.
Cool.
The music will be similar to that.
Not a
Long
great
time
movie.
ago.
It's okay. I just haven't finished Stranger Things, and I now just picture
You're
Steve
horrible.
as Ferris Bueller because I enjoy those ads so much of him being Ferris Bueller.
Yep.
So it's making the OK show a little bit better.
Cool.
If you just picture he's Ferris Bueller.
Cool.
Oh, and there's a TV show as well.
Yeah.
It's called Brideshead Revisited.
Oh, that's famous.
Ooh.
It's been a few weeks since I've watched a British miniseries, so I better do it again.
Cool.
Do it.
So we'll be back next Thursday with all of those things. Yeah, we're going to review it. We're going to do what we do again for the 900 episodes. It's fine. It's a good idea what we're doing. Until then, you can go to theartofmore.com where you could check out this podcast and other podcasts like Let's Take 5, which just had an episode about Jean-Pierre Melville's really cool film Leon Marin Priest, which I highly recommend. And also Ad Absurdum, great legal podcast about pop culture.
Probably
Very
an
fun.
episode in January.
Probably, yeah.
Probably.
Also, on the website, you can check out some other stuff that aren't podcasts, including Lee did a delightful White Christmas commentary track,
Yeah.
which you can listen to and download. And also, we all did articles for the best TV episodes of 2017. Every single one of us contributed an article and
course.
turned it in on time.
Yes.
It is definitely in the final product.
Mhm.
I did.
I did.
I did not.
I did.
Pedro didn't.
I did not.
Pedro did not.
Not at all.
So check that out. I really enjoy making that, and we have 20 people this year write some really fun stuff. So take a look, because Lee talked about Riverdale, I talked about Better Call Saul, and Sarah, you talked about Better Things.
Yo.
Take a look.
But the best one is by far 2015 when I talk about Gannicus.
Oh yeah, that is the most homoerotic thing
Mm.
anyone's ever read in their life.
Cool.
Of your live commentary of watching an episode of Spartacus
Yep.
and talking about how hot this guy is.
Yep.
Yep.
That works.
You can follow us on Twitter at The Immortals Pod. Lee does a great job running that. You can email us at theimmortals@theartofmore.com. Thank you to Adam Lord for the music. We're back next week. Leave a review on iTunes. Do all the cool stuff.
Yep.
Until then, I'm Austin.
I'm Sarah.
I'm Lee.
And I'm Pedro.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Buster Keaton is a gentleman.